The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
You know, I've been thinking, if you say hell is other people, you've definitely never tried recording a podcast by yourself.
Check it.
All right. Good morning, good evening, good day to all you fine folks. Can you believe this marks 1 full year of this segment? Me talking to myself, talking to you, occasionally talking to other people about new music that's been happening and going around that I'm excited and just want to give a shout to. And to be honest, doing this always reaffirms my faith in people in all the unique ways in which they are beautiful, strange, and just incredibly fucked up.
Shout out mental illness.
So yeah, don't worry about a machine takeover. Just kind of keep being you, you know? That's the thing that makes this whole thing special. And the first band I want to talk about is so uniquely them that they are totally in a league of their own. It's 8 Foot Manchild, Boston's premier and the world's only doom brass band. And they have a Christmas EP out called Who Hash. And just to kind of put this in perspective, the first song includes mashups of the band Sleep and You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, all driven by this crazy, awesome brass section. Let's check out a little and you can see what I mean.
Mine became a plan out of spite to steal Christmas from all of the Who's in one night.
Jesus Christ, what a concept. And if that wasn't enough for you, most importantly, all the proceeds from this EP go to the Ramoon Foundation, which provides urgent assistance and aid to families in Gaza. So be sure to check this out. Check out the Ramoon Foundation, RAMMUN Foundation.org, and look into the work they're doing. Really important, really cool of 8 Foot Manchild to be putting this out. And while we're on it, it is December in most regions of people that are probably listening to this. It's probably cold, probably a little unpleasant, probably a little stressful in one way or another. And that's why I'm really comforted by this new single by Molly O'Leary and Justin Arena, both independently wonderful folk singer-songwriters in their own right, but they have a collaborative record coming out next year, and they just released their first single, The Witch and the Witch. It's absolutely beautiful. The production is wonderful, and it's very calming and soothing to the soul. I think they call their music lullabies a lot. And I think I see that kind of tone throughout a lot of the songs they play. And so definitely be on the lookout for that record. It's a wonderful release, and I'm really excited to listen to the whole thing in the new year. And I'll say one thing I love about doing this segment is we all contain multitudes to some degree, you know, so something you might like, someone else might not like, but there's always room for different kinds of extremes in the kind of art you consume. And that's why I wanted to shout out this release by this Finnish 2-piece band, Death Fucking Wound. All word, Death Fucking Wound, one word, all caps. Absolutely punishingly violent war metal. It's aggressive and it sounds really good. I think a lot of times when I'm exposed to music in this realm, bands want to paint themselves as extreme without delivering something that is actually sonically intense. and abrasive. And if you've ever had the feeling of like every single trigger in your mind going off at the same exact time, this is sort of how this makes it feel. I want to play a few seconds of it. You'll see what I mean right away. Holy fuck, I am so awake now. Jesus Christ. And I've come to accept that I'm just programmed a certain way, and that when I'm in a certain mood, I don't want comfort food. I don't want something that's going to bring me out of it. I sort of want art that meets me where I live. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you, lately I've been feeling more often than not just strange. And that has made me really receptive to this new single from Spirit Hotel, Salem-based gothic rock band. And what I think is really interesting about them is they sort of sit in a unique pocket where they skirt the edges of post-punk and shoegaze and like dream pop and stuff, but their sound is a lot fuller and more like a rock band than what you would conventionally associate with those styles. And it's a really cool track. It's called Perfume. It's coming out on their EP that comes out in March next year. I'm really excited to hear the whole thing. But right now, let's just play a few seconds and see if you can get an idea of that atmosphere that I'm talking about. You know, I'm a strong advocate for any music that feels like your own personal soundtrack for when you're walking in slow motion. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like your own personal noir movie. And to double, even triple down on strange tracks for when you're feeling weird, Boston band Main Era have a new song called Double Dragon. And it's a very heady 10-minute indie emo kind of song. But what I found really interesting about it is when I saw the runtime, I'm like, okay, this is going to be, I'm ready to explore this. But they're very precise and intentional with all their movements. It's not like an ambient track where it opens up into new vistas of reality as you kind of continue to listen. They're very precise. They're very arranged. The instrumentation is sharp and they're super tight. Even when they break out into like these warpy modulated guitars, it sounds all very intentional and very put together. Really cool song. First time I'm hearing about this band, and I really am excited to dig into their catalog a little more. And while we're here, giving a quick shout to another Boston band, Adios Fatso, have a new single called GoPro Not Again. And they do kind of a really fun blend of like party rock and roll with this sort of 90s skate punk, pop punk mentality. And it is mixed at the Blasting Room in Fort Collins of fame of many records. So that should sort of give you an idea of the level of production to expect. And I've never used the GoPro in full disclosure, so I can't lament about any of the tragedies that might befall your regular GoPro user. But I can tell you this song has a super catchy chorus and very tight execution. And if you need to scratch your Warped Tour itch, maybe this will do that for you. And next, I want to shout out an amazing singer-songwriter from Tennessee, Dan Spencer. I've been following his stuff for a couple years. He put out a record called Bursting with Country Fresh Flavor that blew my mind, and I've sort of been on board ever since. And his last record, Return of Your Dark Master, started getting more into like big rock territories, giant choruses, big guitars, that kind of thing. And this new album, Weave Your Web, Liar Man, pulls back some of that rockier stuff and gets to more folk Americana stylings that really serve as great accompaniment for these songs. And what I've always loved about Dan Spencer's songs is there's this dark comic sense mingled with really intense emotions. So the songs can be a little funny and heartbreaking at the same time. And they're just such a total joy to listen to. So definitely check it out. Weave Your Web, Liar Man by Dan Spencer. And lastly, I really wanted to give a spotlight to this new record by Holy Taker called Heaven is a Place I Can't Stay. This record is hard to describe in genre terms. I would say it skirts the edges, the outer edges of what you might call experimental doom or gothic folk. But both those terms, I think, are pretty limiting. What I can tell you is it's an amazingly emotionally heavy work. You should listen to it walking in the freezing cold, in the dark, or in your room in the dark with a blanket over your head. One of those two methods I think are probably the best. And when I listen to this record, I hardly even think of them as individual songs. It almost feels like movements. There's a lot of arrangements in the sound and the space and the sonics. There's heavier, abrasive stuff, but a lot of beautifully tranquil moments too. But it's just really intense, and it does require a good bit of focus. This is not background music. Try to clear your mind before entering is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, before I sign off, thank you very much for tuning in today. If there's anything you heard about on this show that you're excited about or piqued your interest, please let me know. It'd mean the world to me to know you heard something cool here. If there's an artist you want to recommend we check out and cover on the show, or maybe you're working on a project of your own, please shoot me a message at coffin_salesman on Instagram, or you can email me, very official, very proper, at aria@thestrugglingartistpodcast.com. And yeah, what have you been listening to? Let me know. I'm curious. So we're going to leave you off with this song by Holy Taker called Dowsing. Have a great day.
Been looking for water hidden beneath the sand. I sent myself here so I'd be alone again. The line from thirst to drowning has been wearing thin. I want it all and I can't handle any of it. When you are dowsing, how well do you trust your hands? When you are drowning, how long do you try to swim? I hold a stick above the ground inside my hands. I hold its forked tongue and I feel the